Welcome to our channel, Sailing Until Valhalla. This is Anthony, my fix-anything, mouthy captain, and our three crazy kids, Dean, Lance, and Rose. And I'm Stephanie, the one who makes the videos, wrangles the kids in while helping run the boat. Come along with us on our journey of exploring the world full-time on a hardened 45 sailboat, chasing the next adventure. A little bit of wind.
Off the dock. Look at this.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
3 months.
We had so many excess lines on our boat throughout the winter because we saw like what was the highest we saw in here?
I think it was 40 something.
40 plus knots
Yeah.
coming from the south, so it was just trying to pull us off the dock. There's some people here you can tell who've been here for a while because you can see that their ropes are like eating pretty far through the wood.
I'll have you bump it back first, just bump.
Okay.
I'll pull us back as far as we can, then I'll give you a push, and then we'll go forward and let her rip. So don't be afraid to give her a little. I mean, I'd go out at, I don't know, like 1200 or something. You know what I mean? Just give her. You don't have to let the back, but just back her up. I'll push, just give her a little up. And, you know, get out as far as you can. But feels like we're getting a lot better on our wind. So
Okay.
yeah, wind totally stopped right now, so we're gonna go. Take it or you want me to? Come back this way now. You got it up here? You want me to take it?
I got it.
Okay. Want to take it or you want me to? Alright, so we're here at our anchorage. We're officially off the dock. We got a beautiful evening. It's been great. It's a whole whopping like 58 degrees right now, which is just hot to us after this long winter. So we're in Galawand Harbor. I think it's Galawand Harbor.
Yeah.
may be wrong. If you're looking at this for information, it's Galawan something. I'm probably mispronouncing it. Anyways, it's right across the bay. It's 3 miles north of Campbell River. So Campbell River was where we stayed all winter. The channel there, you can't really anchor in. It's ripping all the time. You can't. So this is a nice little cut up. And then we got a 6-mile jaunt tomorrow where we're heading in the Seymour Narrows. For those not familiar, Seymour Narrows are a really turbulent spot. The currents can get up to, I think, 16 knots is what we read, either direction, and you have a 10-minute window to go at slack time twice a day. So we'll get into that more tomorrow. But going forward from here, we're going to see a lot of small channels and big tidal swings. So we've been averaging about 15-foot tidal change, and we're going to go up north, and I think it gets up into the 20s. So it's we're going to show that more detail than we have before. We've shown like just kind of bouncing around, but now we're going to actually show out as we lay out the inside passage. We're going to show our anchorages we went to, how we kind of time going through these small windows, when we stop, when we go due to weather, because it really matters in this part of the journey. Those that are watching that aren't familiar with the inside passages, that is a set of inland passages from Canada, the tip of Vancouver Island, all the way up to Alaska. So it's the whole west coast of Canada, essentially, out on, you're kind of tucking it through all these little islands, but it's a lot of channels, it's a lot of smaller channels, it's a lot of big geography where the winds will kind of funnel through and really pick up speed in there. So it's a beautiful place. It's going to be fun to go through. So yeah, this leg, we're going to be going through that inside passage, and it's a pretty unique spot. It's something we've always wanted to do. Was partially the reason for us heading north versus going south. It's just something I've always wanted to check off, and we together want to check off now, but it's something since I was younger I've wanted to check off. And it's going to be a pretty cool journey, but it's a very technical journey. It's not big wide open waters. It's a little different, right? And so as ocean has big waves and storms that can eat a boat, this has narrow channels, currents, stuff like that. So it's interesting, and we're doing it in the time of year. It's April here in real time, or sorry, March 31st in real time. And so we're hitting it right in the early about season change. So this could be a sweet run with the sun like today, or it could just be a couple days of sun and then just hammering winds, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, so we'll get into that, and kind of going forward, we're going to talk more about navigation, what we use to go. We'll show when we get stuck, when we made the wrong call. But we're going to kind of get more in detail about that. Up until now, we've been kind of hopping around, nice comfy anchorages, easy day runs, and this is going to be more of a harder push. We're at the mercy of the elements, so it should be fun, but we're going to kind of be more detailed about it. So we're hoping that's something you guys want to watch. All right, so one thing we wanted to touch base on that we don't really talk about a whole lot, which I think will be beneficial for people that maybe aren't in this area, or maybe just like local boat, but here in the Pacific Northwest, we do a lot with tides and currents. Tides cause currents. As you go farther north, the currents only increase. So maybe for warm weather boaters that may be watching us, or from warmer seasons, they see smaller tidal change. So for us, just as much as weather, tidal change will dictate maybe a day we leave and maybe a day we stay, because we could see currents in some of these passages 5-6 knots, no problem on any given day. And so it makes no point for us to go in and plow current, waste fuel, and then wait the next day. So we kind of, that timing dictates a little bit. Also up here, tides and currents have a little bit of a crossover, but not completely. So when a tide coming in will make the current go one way, and the tide coming out will make it go an opposite way. But just because slack tide doesn't mean the current stops and changes. Some of our windows, we've seen a 2-hour difference between when the current switches and the tide shifts, and they're not exact sciences. So we just have to line it up the best we can. But I'm gonna run you through that real quick. As we're getting farther north, the smaller the channels you go through, and the bigger the tidal swing makes more current. So that's what we want to kind of show real quick. For those who are interested, if you're boated from this area, this is all just second you fast forward. All right, so I'll do my best to explain this. So I'm using the tide charts on here, but this shows you, this isn't today because we have a different, depending on the lunar cycle, we have different tides. So this is back when we were pushing through, about a few days ago. And so you can see here, it says we'll have a 17-foot high tide at 3:15 a.m. Okay, so, and then it'll go all the way down to a 2.6 at 9:45, right? So that gives you a tidal shift of 14.5 feet. Okay, and then we got another up and then no down. So it's a pretty good shift. And then if we go back, Now here's the current shift. So you can see it kind of coincides here, but the shift is actually earlier. So this shows in that channel that as it's getting up, this little dark line here, this is nighttime, daytime. So I'll show sunrise. It shows that the current will be going 280 degrees on the compass at 1.3 knot peak. It'll be doing that for most of the day, and then it'll switch at 2:30 and start going the other way. And see, there's a small window of other way and then a big window of out, right? So we had some weird tides going on, but you can click it more and more. So you can see there that these choke points, those currents, are what kind of dictate in what time they go. So one thing I wanted to show with Seymour Narrows specifically is this was a couple days after we timed it in between that lunar cycle, but you can see here, I don't know if you can see here, it shows peak current coming in at 14.6 knots and 13.5 going out. Okay, so to show you how these windows are so small, you can see when the sunrise is the sundown. You can see here, let's see if I can zoom in. Okay, so peak current 13.5 at 10, and by 4 you get the other direction at 14. Okay, so this is your slack. Now your slack, let's see it'll work, adjust. So at 12:30 you'll have a 3.5 knot current negative, right? And by 1:30 you'll have 2.7 knot current going the other way. So your tidal change around here is about 10 minutes. So you got a 10-minute window to make it through a couple mile passage. So you have one intersection point. You only can go at slack, or you should only go at slack for the most part. So you have one, and you can see here how this one is a perfect example. At daybreak, you need to be going right at daybreak. While cruising in the dark, we're not going to do the narrows in the dark. Same thing here, almost at sundown. So this means this is your only passage in. So I hope that helps. That's kind of just wanted to show how we do that. Is there is when you're not as much of these channels and stuff down south, they're not as bad. You can get a couple knot current, you can push through if you need, but some of these up here, I mean 14 knot current, I mean our haul speed's 7, you know, and so it's like we could potentially be all out and still be pushed the other way. I mean, so it's nothing to trifle with. So beyond weather, wind, weather, we have tides, currents, and tides for depths and stuff. We have drying shoals and things that you can't get in and out of some of these places. So hopefully that helps.
This was our route for the whole day. It ended up being about a little over 50 nautical miles. We got through the Seymour Narrows first, then we got through the majority of the Johnstone Strait, and then we ended at Port Neville at the end of the day. Hi, okay, so it's 7 a.m. We're getting ready to pull anchor and go through the Seymour Narrows, so we'll video our experience. We're hoping that it'll be uneventful, unlike some of our other experiences going through Narrows. Yeah, we're excited. It's a really calm day, so we at least have that. There's no wind. And yeah, we're really excited to go ahead and finally get into some new scenery. But it is beautiful this morning. It's like glass out here. It was like this all night. Yeah, I know. We didn't video a lot while we were at the dock, but I replaced this while we were there.
See now.
Yep. It was already super not clear for some reason. We got a bad batch of this thicker stuff, so. Okay, so we're here at the entrance of the Seymour Narrows. We got here a little earlier than planned. That never happens, but we're just waiting. It doesn't look bad at all, and we've seen actually a couple of people go through, but they were motorboats, so they have a lot more power than we do, so we're still gonna wait just a little bit longer because we'd like to not push current. But I mean, it doesn't look bad, so we might still push a little bit of current just because it doesn't look like there are any rapids or anything. So, but yeah, we're just waiting now. But this is what it looks like. It's really huge. It's like way bigger than I would have pictured for Narrows. That's the opening right there. And it's pretty long too. It's a perfect day though. It's super calm, no wind. It's beautiful out. But yeah, we're just waiting, so we'll probably try to attempt it in another like half an hour, and we'll video what it's like. Hopefully it's just very uneventful. We actually planned this one right. There is like very, very little current, maybe still fishing a little bit, but it's like super calm, which is exactly what we wanted. But this is it, Seymour Narrows. Now we just have another like 2 hours of running, get to our anchorage, and then we are going to get through Johnstone Strait tomorrow, which is another big hurdle because it gets really nasty in there too. So we'll video it. Okay, so we made a last minute decision, and we are going to go all the way to Port Neuville instead of stopping. We were going to be stopping in Otter Cove. That is an option, but the weather is just so good and the tides are really in our favor right now that we think that we can do a hard push all the way to Neuville. So that's what we're gonna do, and then we'll get a lot of the Johnstone Strait out of the way today, which was not the plan originally. Originally we were going to be staying in that cove right there, which is called Otter Cove. It's supposed to be pretty protected. It's a nice hold. So for anybody who does want to do this, you don't have to do the big huge push, but we feel like it's just, we need to.
They're saying, so if we do get to a point coming through here where we get that 2.5 knot current, it actually does with, you know, the 2. I mean, it's not ever an exact science, right? So, but if we usually average 6 knots, if we get 2.5, we'll be doing 8.5 knots.
That'd be awesome.
For a chunk, for like a good 8 to 8.5 knots, which would cover us like, we'll make ground up doing that. If we can get like a good hour of that, that'll cover some serious ground. 7.6. No faster. Fucking speedboat.
I'm excited.
Guys, watch taking the wheel and shit.
I wanted to sail, but it's fine. This is worth it.
Well, we still may sail tomorrow.
Yeah.
So sail that way.
Yeah. the part of Johnstone Strait that everyone says to be cautious and worry about and don't go in at the wrong time. It has like an island in the middle of it, and during an ebb, I think you go on the upper part of the island, and during a flood you go on the lower part of it. So it's an ebb right now, so we're going to take the upper, but it's looking pretty calm. This is a very gentle tidal change today and for the next few days, but yeah, I just wanted to show what we're about to go through. This is the part of Johnstone Strait that everyone is pretty on edge about, so we'll see how good it is.
Are you burying it?
Uh-huh.
I gotta get that on. I went deep away.
This is Port Neveal. We're kind of just anchored in the middle here, not farther back because it's kind of shallow in there, and we just kind of want to leave really early in the morning. But apparently that used to be a port, and there used to be a post office there for a long time, but they closed it after the owner died, so now it's just private, but you still use the dock apparently. But there's usually small fishing boats on it now. But yeah, we just wanted to video what this looks like because it's a good place just to stop for the night before you head to McNeil in the morning, which is what we're doing. Roll.
You're
not cold?
Yeah. I got a bed on.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Mama.
Hi, Rosie.
It might be on not there.
Oh, you're goofy.
They might out like it.
Yeah.
That way, that is.
Oh.
I do it when you're doing. I don't want my wedding paper a different, but
And we're having tacos for dinner. But yeah, I'm tired, really tired. It was a long day, got through some big hurdles, and it should be an easy day tomorrow. Please like, comment, and share this video. It really does help push our videos, and of course subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching our videos. We do really appreciate it.